Hi guys, it's me Brad, back on another video, and today we are back in Train Simulator, what is now known as Train Simulator Classics. And today we're going to be doing another review, and this review will focus on my first purchase from the dudes at Caledonia Works, and that are these. The London Northwestern Railway Claughton pack. Now again, I didn't put every single engine down because I want my frame rate to survive, and as you can see, it's running like all kinds of hell. Now, a bit of context on why I've made this purchase. Basically, back when the pandemic started on the 23rd of March 2020, Kris and his buddies at Caledonia Works decided to take some of the purchasing pressure off his customers' backs. So he gave us a promo code that allows us to get every single Caledonian Railway engine for free, and I thought that was such a genius thing for Kris and his buddies to do. So I managed to get all of the Caledonian locomotives off the site for free via that code, which is now expired since it's been around 2 years since the pandemic started, and god, it was awful for most of us. But we are slowly but surely getting back to normal. Now, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can, but if you notice, I'm using the Xbox controller for this because my mouse is acting so damn weird. Because recently, it's been freezing up on me. As in, the red line on the bottom keeps going out, causing the mouse to freeze. And I have no idea why it's happened. So I decided to break out the Xbox controller and have a go using that. Yes, some of the camera work is going to be a little stupid, but I'm willing to just let it go, basically. Now, back to what I was talking about when I got the Caledonian Railway engines. I decided to purchase these dudes because I wanted to give Kris and his buddies a little bit of money to carry on working on modeling all kinds of locomotives for Train Simulator. So I ended up paying £17 and I got the first Claughton pack. Now there are two packs to this. There's this pack, which is the one I'm showing off right now, and then there's a second pack which has the large boilered Claughtons, because later on these engines were rebuilt with bigger boilers so they could have better steaming capabilities. Now, it's not really known how many were rebuilt. Some sources say that there were 10 rebuilt, some say there was 20, others say 30, and some even go as far as to say there were 40 of these things, given the bigger boiler treatment. So I'm not really sure what one of those is true. Now, there's multiple liveries included in this pack. I just placed down several of them. Some of them are basically the same, just the positioning on the numbers and the position of the numbers and the initials on the cabs and tenders are swapped around a fair bit. So, the liveries that you get are as follows: London Northwestern Railway Photographic Grey, London Northwestern Railway Lined Blackberry Black, which later became the inspiration for the British Railways Line Black, even though British Railways didn't even credit the London Northwestern Railway. My theory is because the London Northwestern got absorbed into the LMS in 23 and therefore they were not existing anymore. You get London Northwestern Railway Unlined Black, and you get multiple pre- and post-1928 LMS liveries on the black and crimson. There's lined and unlined on the black liveries with red and black backed numbers, initials Kris on the tender and on the cabs as well. And there's multiple camera views in the cab, fully functional cab as well. There's some new driver and fireman figures in there from Caledonia Works as well. You also get custom London Northwestern and LMS lamps. You also get a water scoop, so if you're on the Riviera line in the 50s, you can lower that and pick up water on the move. You have animated inside motion, which I haven't really been able to see since purchasing these. And the list goes on and on and on. So you do get quite a lot of good stuff in this pack. So one thing I did forget to mention on the London Northwestern liveries, particularly the lined and unlined black, they have multiple digit numbering because London Northwestern Railway had a pretty weird numbering scheme. So anyway, let's kick things off with this one, the photographic grey livery, as shown on number quadruple 2, Sir Gilbert Claughton, the prototype of these 4-cylindered buggers. And this livery looks very, very, very nice. It looks quite good. The lining on all of these just look absolutely amazing on here. And this does have a 3D number plate, and if we get in close here, look at that crest. Let me just move the camera over so you can see a little bit. Look at that crest. That is so damn crisp. That looks really, really nice with that coat of arms there. And here's the nameplate. Wait a minute. Oh god, this is 3D. Is this 3D? Let's see here. Is this 3D? Doesn't look like it. I don't think this is 3D. Oh wait, maybe it is. Just an inch inside here. Excuse me. Oh god. Is it? Can't really tell if that's 3D or not. But yeah, that nameplate. These nameplates here look so damn nice. This photographic grey here looks very, very good. It's almost like a photographic grey on engines. I feel like it almost gives like a ghost train kind of vibe. And speaking of ghost trains, for those who have seen the little intro part I put at the start of this video, some of you may get the reference that I'm referring to. Any of those who don't, you may want to watch my belated birthday special to see what I'm on about. Here's a close-up on the number, which definitely is 3D, and if I just go through the cap here, yep, you can see that it is definitely 3D. Same goes for the Cruise Works lettering down there. Here's the photographic grey tender, which as you can see, it's completely in grey paint because you would usually start off a new engine in photographic grey before you put it in the official livery. This color here looks very, very nice. Front. There's a view of the engine from the top, which I really should have done when I reviewed the Merchant Navies a while ago. That's a nice looking safety valve here, and one thing that I have noticed is that the whistle is off center. That's something I've never really seen before, because the Claughton models that I have in trains all have the whistle in the middle of the cab roof. But on this, the whistle's off to the side. I honestly have no idea why it was like that. Was that like it on the original Claughtons? Please let me know in the comments if that's the case, because I honestly have no idea why the hell that's there. Right, here we have the London North Western Railway Blackberry Black, which again later became the inspiration for the British Railways Line Black livery, even though BR never credited the London North Western Railway, probably because they were absorbed into the LMS in 23, and most of the pre-grouping locomotives were being removed prior to nationalisation. And as you can see here, the one who's portrayed in this livery is the last member to be withdrawn, number 42, later LMS 6004, Princess Louise, which for some stupid reason I thought it said Princess Louis, but I later on found out I was being a bit of a blithering idiot, as always, and it actually was pronounced Princess Louise. Now, one thing that I find interesting, I found this out quite recently, is that the London North Western Railway never painted the rear buffer beam on the tender red. They painted it black, probably because the engines weren't really supposed to run in reverse. They were supposed to run with the smoke box facing the front, if that makes sense. So I think the reason why the London North Western didn't paint these red is because they wanted the red on the front of the engine. I'm sorry about some of the camera work on this. I'm not a pro. I'm not the best YouTuber in the world, as I know, but I still do have a few tricks up my sleeve. Again, I think the reason why this is black instead of red is probably because these engines didn't run tender first a lot. Maybe they did run tender first and I'm just being an imbecile. Right, here is the London North Western Railway Online Black, which is basically the same as the Line Black, except as portrayed here by number 1191 Sir Frank Ree, the lining is removed. And this looks very nicely done. I like how it's shining on the engine there with the sunlight. Coming around to the back of the tender, as you can see, they have the same black buffer beam, probably because these engines didn't run at tender first that much. Oh, bloody hell! Probably because the engines didn't run tender first that much, but yeah, this is a very nice livery right here. Again, I'm sorry if I'm giving such a vague description on some of the liveries. It's just, I sometimes run out of things to say in my commentary videos, if I'm making sense, which I rarely do. Okay, now this is where the lag starts to get a little heavy, because these are the LMS liveries. I placed down a ton of the black liveries, and I placed down one crimson livery, which we'll look at in a bit. Now, not all of the Claughtons were named as portrayed by the now renumbered 5983, who was... Oh, seriously, Frank Ray, I'm trying to show this off, mate. Now again, there's multiple versions of the LMS livery, particularly the black. As you can see here, this is LMS unlined black, with the LMS initials on the cab, and the number on the tender here. And as you can see, the LMS went ahead and painted the buffer beams black, so that way the engines stood out a little more. And here's a shot of the other side. Here's a shot of... Oh, sorry. Here's a shot of the other side. What's there? Again, as plain as black looks, it does look quite nice on some engines. Here's another version of the Unlined Black, as shown by number 5911, W.E. Dorrington. I'm sorry if I butchered that. This guy's basically the same as this one with the LMS initials on the cab, except this dude has the... what looks like a plate on the cab, even though it looks to me like a flat texture. If I just go inside here, yeah, that's a flat texture. But it's okay. It looks alright. As stupid as some flat textures look, they actually don't look too obvious when you're like far away. It's only when you're like in close that you can see this is a flat texture. I'm sorry about the janky camera work, but yeah, again, I'm not the best YouTuber in the world. Now here's one where the numbers really stand out, as you can see by portrayed as engine number 5913, Colonel Lockwood. As you can see, he, or she, as many people refer to as engines, have red-backed numbers, which really stand out a lot more than the black-backed numbers. These really look nice, and that LMS logo, ooh, that looks so damn crisp. That really does look nice. What thing that I found to make like lining and such crisp on engines, and really talk in general, what did I think that makes lighting so crisp is when you bake them, you bake the number or the lining layer separately, and then it will look so much better than it just plonks onto the flat texture. When you're putting text onto something, it looks so much nicer than just writing it on the texture itself. And it's shot from the back, basically the same as those two we looked at earlier, but it has the number on the cab and the initials on the tender. This livery looks quite nice. Moving on to another one with the LMS on the cab and the number on the tender, but as portrayed as by number 5967, Lance Corporal J.A. Christie VC, no idea what the hell that means. As portrayed by this guy, you have the LMS crest on the cab, and that looks awesome. This looks so crisp. It does look like it's baked onto the texture a little bit, but this crest here, this looks very, very nice. And the tender is basically the same as the two previous ones we looked at, except it's with a different engine. Like the Merchant Navy, some of these are basically the same, they're just reskins of each other. Right, second to last one here, as portrayed by the unnamed 5938. This is LMS lined black with the red lining, and this just makes the engine stand out a lot more, especially with the red backed number. Again, there is a black backed number and initial version available, so if you want to run that, if you wanted to hide a little more, you can do that as well. I'm telling you, Kris and his buddies just do such a good job with modeling these engines that I just find it hard to describe it sometimes. It just looks really, really, really nice how much Kris and his buddies have gotten since they kicked off the Caledonia Works. They've now gone made stuff like this. These just look amazing. It's just I'm finding it difficult to describe it. They just look so damn good. And the final livery we have is my personal favorite, the LMS Crimson. And holy mother of God, this livery looks amazing. Now again, there are multiple versions. There's one with the one I've got here has the blacked back number and lettering. There's also one with the crest, and one with the red backed number and lettering, and one with the initials on the cab and the number on the tender. So again, fair bit of customization you can do with these engines. Right there. Now, one thing about this number here, 5972. The original 5972, no, not that one. I'm talking about the Claughton. Never carried a name, but as you can see, it's now called Nick Hudson. And Nick Hudson was a friend of Kris's from Caledonia Works, and he was a route maker for trains, and he passed away recently. And one of the wishes that he had was that he wanted the Claughtons to be in train simulators, so Kris, being the genius that he is, went ahead and named the unnamed 5972 after Nick Hudson, which I think is such a great idea, like naming something in your deceased, in a deceased honor. It's like how I did my my nanny. I made her into a Highland Railway clan and named that after her. That just looks so, it's so kind for someone to be, for something to be named in honor of a deceased person. If I'm making sense, which I'm most likely not. But again, I just think that's such a great idea that Kris did for these engines, to actually give number 5972 the name Nick Hudson. That's just such a nice gesture. It really, really is. Now, let's have a look at the cab from this view first. And the cab looks... Let me actually get a good shot. There you go. It's blocked up by the driving fireman here. The cab looks quite nice. As you can see, we have a nice little bucket of water there, although that looks more like cement to me. Now, some of the controls on this I find a little weird. Particularly the brakes. These brakes control quite strangely. They're not like down in this area near the reverser, for example. They're actually all the way up there. Is that actual design of the Claughtons? Not really sure. The regulator is a little strange as well, because it goes this way instead of that way. Again, I'll show this off when I do the test run with these, but this cab looks very nice. As you can see, we got a mug of tea here, along with a teapot, which I think looks quite cute. Got the fireman here with his shovel. There's the pipe as well, which, hey, if you want to smoke, you can do that as well, but I am never going to smoke when I'm older, mostly due to the way my lungs are. And there's the shovel here, which looks quite nice, especially in the light as well. So, I think it's time we stop looking at this lot and head on over to our test train, which is on another route, so I'm gonna have to swap around real quick. Okay, so it's been a few weeks later since I originally did the review session, but now we are doing the test run. And this test run here, good lord, this took like 3 attempts to make. This is the 3rd one. I did another 2 attempts with this. The first one was on the London to Brighton line, but since this is more territory for general steam navigation, I have cut it all out, and it was way too long. I think I did like 2 hours worth of footage on that, so yeah, that was way too long. The second one was on the test track, but I felt like I was being a little too vague, if that makes sense. So now we are on proper Midland region territory, the Settle to Carlisle line. Now, the reason why I've got general steam navigation in this is so we could see how the past review looks with the current review that we're doing. And it seems obvious, the merchant navies are obviously bigger than the Claughtons and much younger than the Claughtons as well. And whereas the merchant navies and the other unrebuilt Blue Pacifics are obviously hexagons, the Claughtons look more conventional, if that makes sense. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and given him the fictional number of 6030. I was originally going to do 5972 on this, but I felt like I would be disrespecting Nick Hudson, so I didn't bother. Anyway, as you can see, it's nighttime over in Carlisle, and we are going to be pulling a late night Pullman tonight, Afton. How's that sound, old chap?
About time I had a named train of my own to pull, and with proper coaches, and no less. The only thing better would be the express.
Oh, seriously, Afton, you're always going on about the cut. You know what, son, I'm not even gonna argue. Let's just get to the station. F5, yep. Turn that's off. So, let me go ahead and go through the head code options here. So, if you press Control 1 through 4, you do get the 4 traditional lamp placements on the lamp brackets. And if you press Control 1 through 4 again, you get the tail lamp versions, but we are going to be traveling at light engine for this, so Control 1, so, and if we go around to the tender, you do get the same thing, but you have to press Control Shift 1 through 4, and there we have the customized lamps for the tender, and if you also press Control Shift 1 through 4 again, you get the tail lamp versions, but we are not pulling the Royal Train, unfortunately, so we are going to be sticking with this head code on. So, let's have a quick look at the cab. Let's go to this view. There we go, we can see the whole cab right now in a little extra more detail now that the driver and fireman aren't here. And also, one thing I forgot to mention when we did the review session of the cab in the third person view, as you can see, there's a Bible and a rule book down there, which I think is such a nice little feature. That is really nice. As you can see, we got our gauges here. We got the pressure gauge on that side, and if you look on the other side, we have our vacuum brake gauge. And speaking of vacuum, I am going to open the injectors like that. Let's also open the cylinder cocks. Now, this is my first Caledonia Works engine to have a reverser lock. So if you press E, you can then wind the reverser up and down however you want, depending on the cutoff that you want. And also, if you look down here, you can see this little section here is moving. And if we have a look over here, you can see that the reverse rod moves, which again just makes this thing stand out so much more. We're gonna put this all the way forward, so we have maximum cutoff. Also, if you press Control R, you get auto fireman turned on, which I'm going to keep on there. Now, you do also have animated inside motion, although you can see it, but it's quite dark. You should be able to notice it a little more once we get moving. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that you do have animated, I'm pretty sure this is Stevenson Link valve gear on the inside, along with the traditional wall shots valve gear as well. Now, back to what I mentioned, how odd the brakes were. So, I'm gonna take them off now. Of course the safety valves interrupts us! Anyway, as I was saying, here's the brakes. They control it admittedly rather weird. I don't know how to describe it. They control it a rather weird, like, oh god, I don't even know how to pronounce it. yeah, they control a little strangely to me. And I'm actually gonna keep the brakes on so I can show the regulator, and we are not moving. So the regulator here, it moves this way. I mean, usually the regulator would be down here, but I think, oh, we're already moving. Hey, no, don't, mate. Usually the regulator would be down here, but instead, when you shut off steam, shut steam off here, it's all the way up there. Again, I think that was a design on the original Claughtons, I think. Oh, I could be wrong on that. Anyway, let's go with the, let's have a look at the camera view. So we got this view, stick your head out view, first wheel view, other wheel view. We got this view where you're literally just dangling from the foot plate, holding onto the handrail up top. We got this view, which looks really nice. Got this view, which was pretty traditional when Kris started modeling stuff for this game. You have a full-on front view. You got this view. You basically got the same views on the driver's side, except these are on the fireman's side. This view, that view, and we are back to here. Now, in this view in particular, you can't move the camera. I have right click held down on my brand new gaming mouse that I got not long ago, and it's not moving. The thing is literally not moving. It's the same for the driver's side as well. If we go in here, holding right click, the thing will not move. Also, before we go, let's have a listen to the whistles. So, okay, now the safety valve has finally calmed down. Here's the spacebar whistle. Very nice sound. And here's the tab whistles. Are you bloody kidding me? Now, if I press V and B, there's no B or V whistles on this, sadly, which I'm okay with. It's alright. Anyway, let's turn off the F5 HUD. Let's take the brakes off. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I know where I'm heading off to. Sorry, I need to reset the points. Hold on. Right, I can tell that Afton is excited, so let's get underway. Okay, now that we're moving, I'm not sure if you can see it. The inside motion is moving. You can kind of see it right where the camera is. It is moving, trust me. It is moving. It's just a bit of a pain in the... Okay, now that we are over the point... Wait a minute, hold on. Did I not set these points right? Oh, I did, okay. Alright, brakes on. Switch the points. Throw them in reverse, and then we'll change the code here. We want, let me go around to the front. We want the, let me actually zoom out a little bit, there we go. So we want the control 3, we want the red light on, we want the same thing for the tender, control shift 3 and 3 again. Take the brakes off. Let me just make sure that we are on the right track. I thought I accidentally forgot to release the brakes, but we did. Right, let's couple onto the coaches. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention is that I don't have any, and I mean any, of the rolling stock required to get the quick drive consist to work. So for now, we are stuck with the Matrix Trains Pullmans and the Armstrong Powerhouse BR Mark 1 coaches, so That's what I've got, unfortunately, for this test run. Sorry. Okay, slow down. Slow down. Oh, God! Ooh, that was close! You also do have the water scoop as well, which you can operate. Down here, I think. Does it? Hold on, let me wind this thing down. I think it shows. Does it? Oh, I think. Is that the water scoop? Is that it? I may have to do a little bit of a water scoop test run at some point. Right, let's take the handbrake off. Because I was... Wait, am I even on my coaches? No, I'm not. Okay. Let's take the handbrake off. It is off. Perfect. A little bit of juice. Just a small bit, because we're not far from the coaches. This actually is the F3. Okay, now we're on the coaches. Brakes on. Even though I wasn't going that fast. We'll throw them in forward. That's... What? No, we don't want that. Control 2 and 4 and 3. Control Shift 3 and 3. And we are ready to go! Well, let's get the passengers boarding first. There we go. Now we have to wait.
No one noticed the coach closest to the engine didn't belong in the consist. It was painted cream and green, just like the Express. But it was smaller and had no bogies, just 2 axles. It was filthier and didn't look like a coach belonging on a prestigious train such as the Midnight Special.
Bloody hell, just see how that dude just appeared before the doors closed. Good God. Right, let's go. Okay, now the safety valve shuts up. Jesus, wept. Took you long enough. Right, let's turn the cylinder drains off. There we go. Add a little more power. Yes. General, if you can hear me. Bye. Right, I'll leave. I've shut off steam because this is a bit of a steep hill. We're going down, but we should be alright. Nice little shot as Afton rolls steadily down the hill towards the main line. We can go a little faster here, Afton! God, I need to work on my camera skills. Right, let's give this guy a little more power. Whoa! Okay, I don't think that little jolt there was supposed to happen. Started full power with full cutoff. Okay, we are on a bit of a steep hill. Whoa, no, I'm speeding. God damn it! Ah, yes, a nice burst of light as we roll through the yards of Carlisle with our late night Pullman service. Actually, what late Pullmans have we got? We've got Belinda. Okay. We've got Lucille. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. Ivdel. Oh god, I cannot pronounce these names. Joanne. I can easily pronounce that. Eunice. God, I cannot pronounce the names. Joanna. Lorraine. I think that is. Ion. Zena. And that's the BCK at the back. Okay, I'm going to wind the reverser back to 50% cutoff. Because now we're at a 60-mile-an-hour limit, we can really get the power down. Oh god. Oh, I don't think I have to like that. Let's actually put it back into 4 so we can accelerate a little quicker. There you go. Let's reduce cutoff now. I usually wind cutoffs back to 50% on this HUD at least. The F5 HUD is a little more realistic from what I found. Oh. Dampers, all the roller being on. Yeah, it is. Now one neat little thing here is that this lamp here, if you click on it, it turns off, and now if we have a look on the outside, the cab is more darkened, but I'm going to keep that on so we can see what the bloody hell's happening. Oh god, sparks are flying out of the funnel right now! Now also, if you press Control, I think it's Control-Shift-P. No, it's Control P. Is it Shift P? Yes! You get performance mode as well. Now, since I do have a great computer, I'm going to keep it on, but if you press Shift P again, performance mode is completely on and the cab light is now rendered useless, but since I have a fine computer, oh god! Anyway, since I have a fine computer, I'm going to keep it on. Now, since the firebox is open, let's have a look. I can't see a bloody thing! It's alright. We'll use this view. And weirdly, the flames still move when you've paused the game, when you press the pause break button. That's how you pause the game without doing... Oh, it doesn't work. Anyway, I'll show you in a bit, but as you can see, the flames, they do look like a 2D texture, but come on, that's pretty much expected, isn't it? Let's have a look inside. The firebox is set. Okay, I am so sorry if it's a little too bright for you. Bloody hell. I mean, if any of you thought the yellow on Rebecca was bright, this is as bright as hell. Speaking of Rebecca, I think some of you are probably glad I didn't put her in this due to the obvious controversy around her. But hey, the fans can do better stories on her than, well, you know. God, we are still gaining. We're at 40 miles an hour now, and we've managed to climb a hill while doing so. Usually it would be the exact opposite of that, but nope. I think Afton here wants to defy the laws of physics. I still find some of the controls on this a little weird. Like, the regulator should be in the position that it is now for it to be shut off. Except it looks as if it's in the full-on position. Was that design on the original Claughtons? Was that an original design on the original Claughtons, or am I... You know, I'm probably just being an idiot right now. As I always am. Now that there's no light, you can barely see shots like this, but you can kind of see the coupling rods moving. I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm just saying, I feel like that others should probably do external shots in the cab view, like how Kris and his mates have done. That would just be so damn cool if others actually did that. I think we are at the point now where we're accelerating a little slower. Now here's something interesting. When I originally tested these, when I bought them, I didn't have any stuff behind my engine, and I managed to get it from like 30 to 60 odd miles an hour in less than 10 seconds. Which does kind of make some sense if you don't have a massive train of trucks and or coaches behind you when you're traveling by yourself. But since we are not traveling alone, we do have a break of lovely Pullman coaches. Along with an unexpected guest I just noticed. Ah, we should be fine. What's the worst that can happen? Right, I think we can wind the reverser back a little more. We'll just do 45, just to be safe. Pretty rare you get shots like this from yours truly, eh? That whistle sounds so damn nice. Wait, did I not wind up the water scoop? Oh god, I might have accidentally forgot to wind the water scoop up. Let me turn this guy up, if that makes sense, which I'm most likely not. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we are slowing down. Oh! God, I need to stop getting distracted so easily. Now, I don't know about you lot, but I'm staying behind the fence, just to be safe. Even though it's made out of brick and not the traditional material that I see on railway fences. I think we are getting our speed back up, so let me put this guy back to 50 so we can accelerate a little quicker. Not as quick. These engines are pretty thick. That sounds so bad. Nice shot of the coupling rods there. Okay, I think we can bring the reverser back. Oh, I think we're coming up to a station. I think I may want to stop there. God, that crossing's loud. Dude! Can you quiet down, please? I've passed! Mate, settle down! Finally! Jesus! Yeah, we're heading up to a station. Let's shut off steam. We can stop here for the... Oh, God, Speedy! No! Slow down! I'm trying to be a sensible driver, even though I drive like an imbecile. Yeah, the uphill grade will slow us down. If needs be, I can my own brakes on. Actually, you know what? Stop the original brake. Let's try using the handbrake here. What's that? There we go. That slows us down a fair bit. God. Oh god, we are coming in too fast. That's it. Emergency brakes on. Oh Jesus. All brakes. All brakes on. Okay, I think we can take the brakes off now after that admittedly slight bit of panic. There we go, that's all off. Perfect. There we go. Let's turn cylinder drains on for when we depart. There we go. There we go. A nice, gentle little stop. Right on the edge of the platform! So yeah, that's basically my review on the London North Western Railway Claughtons by the dudes at Caledonia Works. Would I recommend them? Hell yes, I would. Now, one little nitpick I do have is like, there's not a lot of whistle options. That's really my only complaint about this DLC, but apart from that, these things are absolutely amazing. Like the sounds and the detail, and if I just squeeze through here, and just the looks of this thing are absolutely amazing. And if you're a fan of the London North Western Railway, this is probably the pack for you. Now I do plan to get the rebuilt Claughtons at some point, and the rebuilt ones do not require these ones to work, so you do have some choice there. If you want to get the originals like how I've got, you can do that, or if you want to get the rebuilt ones, you can do that, or if you want both, you can get both, and if you don't want either, buy either. It is your choice at the end of the day. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, and don't forget to comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Well, about time I got this review done, isn't it? Finally, I can have a small rest while the relief crew takes the train on to settle.